still get nervous about this.
Who will get nervous?
Me.
Hey everybody, this is Rich from the Metal Cell podcast. I'm delighted to welcome Mark Morrissey of the Paranoid Beast. How are you, Mark?
Great, fine. How are you?
Yeah, delighted to have you here, man. And I've got Howard as well alongside me.
How we doing?
How are you,
Good to see you
Howard?
too. It's been a while. Huh?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Ages,
Yeah, Jesus
ages.
Christ. We're like three old fellas sitting on a ditch.
No, we're not like three old
like
fellas.
the
We
team
are
bench.
three old fellas.
It's like the reserves bench. You've got one fucked up knee, a fucked up back. You know?
And can't hear. Hearing is gone in one ear. So, you shocked the Irish metal world with your retirement all of a sudden. Came out the blue.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the decision now?
I'm feeling really good about the decision, actually.
Okay.
I kind of had a big chat with Con. Con wanted to kind of step away from it anyway because, you know, over the last couple of years, obviously with COVID and all that, we had fierce issues with cancellations and like we had so many things booked for 2020. Like that year, I think, you know, if we got to do it, that would have made it the next step up. Like when we had to continue cancelling it, and then the second time we thought the lockdown was gone and we had more things booked, and then we had to cancel all those, and it just got tiring, to be honest with you.
Right,
do you know what I mean? And I think Con then had the issue, obviously, with Monolith, the second Monolith or the third Monolith. Yeah. And the problem with that, of course, was he lost money on it because he had to put deposits on bands and stuff like that. So there was an issue there.
Explain that, like how much would it be, a typical deposit be on a band? Like?
I'm not sure because it's not something that I personally would be doing. Like so,
and the price goes up exponentially for festival appearances. So you're talking about bands that might cost maybe €1,000 or suddenly €10,000. So you're talking about that difference in terms of the cost of to get a band over. Then you have to put them up. Then you've got a rider, and you have to multiply that by 5 or 6 in a festival.
And
so
in fairness,
Con
was like, you know, he was willing to give it a go for the second time, like even though the Rotten Christ one, he lost money on that, like you know, and that was an awful pity because that was a fantastic day of music, like Rotten Christ were fantastic, you know, and that gig, like he was telling me the other day that there was only 200 people paid into that gig, like, you know, and that's just not good enough, like it's not good enough to sustain a festival in Cork, like, and like that's what we were trying to do.
And you've got like Cyprus Avenue, which is like one of the best
fantastic
venues.
Great venue, great sound, great lighting, do you know, and people just didn't come out for it.
I think after you said he was prepared to lose money on that, but the lineup for the next one, which is Benediction, Carcass and all them, if that went ahead, like
absolutely. I'd say like that would have been the one, I think, that would set it up for future years, like definitely, do you know. Well, I thought it would, and I'd say he did as well, do you know. And
it felt that way, didn't it? You know, because I think with the first one, you always had that sense that it wasn't going to do as good as it should because it was the first one. Yeah. But as time went on and Con progressed and got to more bands in, and those other shows like a Menra was supposed to happen in September, which would have been a great gig.
Which would have been amazing.
And all these things kind of lead to a bigger interest, and so by the time the next Monolith rolled around, you have this extra 50 to 100 people, and you just hope that would keep building and you get people in from abroad, and it seemed to be on that trajectory. Con really did have a long-term plan with it.
Absolutely. And like we bought it as well, like you see, it feels to me right now that we were like starting from scratch. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
After the couple of years, after COVID,
right?
And not willing to go and start from scratch again and try and win back a crowd. Like we also had Evan setting up Dead Cult Promotions and doing very similar to what we're doing, but obviously he's well into it at the moment. He wants to get it going, and you know, whereas we're on the other side of it. We're after going through so many years of it, and if we still don't have our crowd right now, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? And it's a pity, like, because, you know, we were dedicated to it for a few years.
You were,
and COVID really, in my opinion, messed it up. But also, you see, like, I think after the COVID thing, like, all the people wanted to do gigs. Like, I mean, Fred's was rammed with gigs. There's a gig in Fred's now nearly every single night of the week, like, do you know, which is great and fantastic for Fred's, like, do you know, but it's like there's 3 or 4 different things going on at the same time, and the crowd are getting split, and it's becoming clicky.
It's a small demographic, and it's hard to split it in 3 or 4.
So you have your crowd will go to this, but I'm only going to go to this one. This crowd is going to go to this one, and we're all men. And the old men are going to go to nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like every now and then they might turn off, like, but that you can't rely on it. Like, put it that way, like, do you know what I mean?
It's true.
But it's
and I think the Cork scene is too small for all those splits anyway.
Definitely.
It always has been. It's just been I mean, I remember going back to the early 90s. You had Dat 14. I don't even remember that collaboration. It was like a bunch of punk lads got together. Donuts Are Tasty 14, I think it was.
Yeah, right.
You know, but that was my first introduction to clicks. Do you know? So
Cork was very bad
for that, and it just all of a sudden, all the hard work that someone was doing is just split in 4. And everyone's trying to catch up with each other and to be in front runner of everybody else. Whereas what should fucking happen is come together, figure it out.
And it's what we've been calling for a long time, like, for people to come out and support. Like, what I haven't seen in Cork, and you see in every other scene, you see it in Belfast, you see it in Dublin, you definitely see it in Limerick, like, our bands coming out to support other bands. You don't see that in Cork. No. Like, do you know, like, we've had, like, you know it as well, like, there's people will walk out after they finish their gig, go down and have a few pints, and they won't even watch the second band. Do you know what I mean? And
that takes from the atmosphere, and
it takes from like people go on about, you know, the Cork scene. It's not supporting itself, like, do you know what I mean? There's a scene there, yes, the bands are fantastic, and no doubt about that, like, but it's split. It's and like, I totally understand from the young people's point of view, they want their buddies to come along. Like, I like the thing now that Jim Spillane and the boys are doing with Relapse as well, where there's something a bit different going on. They want to do a bit of a punky thing and a bit of, do you know, and Cork needs that too. Do you know? But like the thing with the Dead Cult thing, it's very similar to us. We can't do that. Like, we can't have the same thing going on every month, like 1 gig a month, exactly the same bands, which happened as well, which with a couple of bands that we crossed over, we were after booking the same bands within a month of each other, and they're kind of going, can't do that, like, do you know what I mean? So let him drive on with it there, and you know, hopefully he can continue with on, and the bands will start coming down, and do you know, and let the young people kind of get the scene going, like, and hopefully carry it forward. You know what I'm saying?
There's an enthusiasm now at the stage that Dead Cult are at, I guess, because, you know, they're selling out the gigs and it's great, and it looks fantastic, but they're a gig away from a slap in the face in terms of that just happens to everybody, and you just hope that they're have enough resolve to come past that first smack in the face when no one shows up to your gig.
Well, I mean, like,
know, and it will happen.
Like, everyone wants to, especially the younger crowd, they all want to do the new thing, the new fad, the new, you know, that's normal. That's what people do, you know, and they want to be seen to be out. And in fairness, like, they're getting the support because, like, he's in a band, do you know what I mean? He's in the scene, he's on your podcast and all that, so he's out there, his voice is out there, it's regular, and he's got friends in the scene, and they're going to come and support it, and that's kind of what you want. Do you get me?
I do.
You want those bands to actually, we'll go out to Evan's thing there now tonight. Do you know what I mean? That's what you want to see.
And that's what's happening.
And that's what's happening
at the moment.
At the moment, do you know what I mean?
It's
so
valid,
definitely, like, we're happy for him to go forward with that, and hopefully start bringing down the bands that we want to see as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, we do bring a lot of the older crew, do you know, because they're the bands that I'm into. Like, do you know, like we had planned to bring down Censor, Orcus, Organ Blender, all these bands. Strangers with Guns were going to come down and do a gig for us, and do you know, Brigantia, all these are the type of bands that they're proper professionals that are in it for the long haul. You know what I mean? They're in it for, like, they're lifers. Do you know what I mean? And those bands need gigs too. You know what I mean?
They do.
And it can't be all about just like, let's get into the latest math rock thing and we'll all jump around and none of it makes any sense. Like, do you know, proper. Like, I suppose we're more in the metal thing. Like, do you know, the doom, post metal, that kind of stuff.
The stuff you don't have to stand up for, like.
Yeah, and that you can just stand there and nod, and you don't have to jump around and get into a mosh pit.
But we've talked about.
We're too old for that. Right?
We've talked about this. I remember when Paranoid Beast was first starting up in Subtle Beast, and it was kind of evolving into it. I remember doing a podcast with you and talking about it, because you had at the time God Lone were coming through, and Red Sun Alert and those kind of bands, and it was kind of bookended from one generation through right up to another, and that was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it was
saw
great,
it at gigs,
yeah.
and the interaction online even, it just felt like a bigger thing than it had been before.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. It's such a shame the way things went down with the pandemic and so on, and the 2 years lost, and I think that it was just looking in such good shape up to that point. And it's not that it's fucked, don't get me wrong.
No,
that's not what we're saying at all.
Not at all.
I'm just saying from a promoter's point of view, how the fuck can you keep going after 2 years? It's crazy, like.
Well, I think the God Alone thing as well, like, you know, it was great to see them progress, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And to be able to put them on gigs. Like, actually, I was supposed to do a ritual I was going to do one in Fred's just before they locked down the second time.
Okay.
And the lineup was there, and all, and God Alone were going to headline it, do you know? And I thought that lineup would have been perfect, you know. It was a good mix of old, new, do you know what I mean? And it just didn't happen, like, do you know? And unfortunately, like, but God Alone are doing their own thing as well, you know what I mean? Like, they've got Vexed Promotions now, is that they're doing that thing, and
they've just evolved as the years have gone by. It was nice to be there at the start, wasn't it? Just to see them.
And every time we went to see them, like,
it's just like every time you just up the game.
Do you remember the one we went to see in the Roundby?
I do, yeah.
And we were like, what in God's name? That was just off the wall, like, you know what I mean? How better can you get? Like, you know?
It's like they have to get guitar lessons or something after this fucking thing.
I think they have a record coming out soon as well, do they?
I would imagine they'd be working on something at this point,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
But like, you built up a nice crowd of people that were going regularly to the gigs, you know, shout out to Cork and Alan and all those lads.
The two lads
from Tralee, they travel, like, which is just
amazing. The best fans we had, like, seriously, like, they were coming up from Tralee all the time, and Cork was up again there for the gig last
weekend,
and they've made that trip many a time, like, which is great, like, do you know what I mean? Good support, but then at the same time we've had nights where we haven't had support, like, you know, like you were at the second ritual I did in the Spailpín, like, that was an unbelievable savage day of music, like,
that was with the crawling and all them.
You had the crawling, you had Ohms, you had Woven Man, 10-ton slug, amazing, you had Brigantia, Censar, Astronaut, you know, Spirit Merchant. The whole day was just. And that's the way you set it up, like, you know, it grows right through the whole night. Like, we put a bit of thought into lineups and stuff like that, like, you know, it's not all just throw willy-nilly. There's thought going into how the night will flow. Do you know what I mean? That was an unbelievable night of music.
It was,
We had a terrible turnover. Absolutely terrible, like. Like, I couldn't believe it, like, do you know what I mean? So you've got bands, we'll say now, like 10-ton slug. Like, 10-ton slug would pack out any place around the country, like. And they come down, they weren't in Cork at that stage for a long time. There's no one came up for it. Do you know? No, there was probably a few different things that happened that time. There was a gig in Dublin.
There was, I remember, there was 2 or 3 things on, definitely.
Yeah. And it was probably too close to the siege as well, which was another mistake. I moved it back from the start of December, and I think that was a mistake.
Right,
So, but it was disappointing, you know, but the music wasn't. The music was amazing.
I remember Rome's gig that was unbelievable. It was definitely
the band was, like, you know, the Crawling were fantastic, you know. I'm going on about the Crawling, like, I mean, the Crawling first gig this year, like, and you had 30 people came into the gig.
Was that how much?
30 people.
Jesus,
like, that's disgraceful, like, and that's embarrassing for Cork too.
It is,
because you've got a band like the Crawling coming all the way down from Belfast, do you know, putting a lot of effort in, staying the night down here, do you know what I mean, travelling down, putting on a great show, like, they're always great, like, do you know, and no support for it. Strange. And that's where we're talking, we go into the thing with clicks. Hang on a minute, why aren't people coming out sorting that out? Because those people have decided to go to the other place, like. And that's what I see right now. And we're too old for that kind of crack, you know what I mean? So I've seen it many a time. I've seen it in the techno scene in Cork and the DJ scene. I mean, trying to get in DJ in Cork back in the day was impossible.
Look, it's eternal recurrence. It just happens.
You know?
It's the same
it just
thing
keeps happening in each scene. It doesn't have
again.
to be just rock or metal, or it's all different music scenes.
Yeah.
And it's probably happening now again.
Like it's amazing that it's hit saturation point, and how many months back from COVID? Like?
Saturation point is so close at any given time in this music, in this scene, in this thing that we are all part of. Like it's so close to the breaking point all the time. It's a really fragile thing for a long time. Do you know what I mean? It's been the way I played my first gig in the Phoenix in 1996.
Great,
so I've been every year since I played a gig in Cork, so I know what I'm talking about when I say it. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But you're right, it starts to happen. Things start going well. Next thing, someone else gets an idea and goes, I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
And then you see it splinter away.
Yeah.
And then you see people go 4 or 5 different directions, and what they should be doing is coming together. And then you get the problem when you have bad promoters who start doing that. And then they're just the worst. They fuck everything up. I mean, at least with Evan and Dead Cult, they seem to know what they're doing and they're doing it right. It's just they haven't hit that wall yet, and they fucking will.
And the fact of moving forward with it as well, with him, like doing the online thing, you know, selling tickets online, that definitely seems to be making a difference too, which is good, because like, that's
it's a commitment, and you have to be
exactly
buy a ticket, you're going like.
That's another side I just didn't really want to go down. I don't want to be like going on and like, I know I could do it. But I really don't want to be like selling tickets for a gig in Fred's, like, you know, it just, but it's working for all the rest of them, so they're right, I'm wrong. Do you know what I mean?
But like during COVID, then you kind of like, you were always loved the photography and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I got into the photography first day because having to do the gigs, like, that was the main thing. You know, that's why I bought the camera in the first place, because I said, right, I'm not going to pay someone to do this, I'll do it myself. Do you know what I mean? And I just learned, and as I was getting along with it, then I started to love it. Do you know, in the COVID thing though, I've started to love more landscape photography and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like when I went back there now, and I did the Stoner gig in Cyprus Avenue a few weeks ago, and it was great. It was great to get good photos of it, but it wasn't the same. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even take photos.
So you mean the experience of watching the gig?
Of taking the photographs, where before I get this angle, you know, and like now I'm like, no, I'd rather go out and see the scenery and travel around.
Did you think it was taken away from the gig for you as well? Like, would you have just actually?
I mean, as a promoter, I mean, Jesus, the whole thing, all night long, is you're doing stuff like. Do you know, like if you're going to do a video recording, you're trying to set up the lights and all this, and then I'm looking down, seeing, that lighting isn't right down there. I have to go down and change that. You know what I mean? Or you have to do, like we'd said, the visual thing, because I do love to do the visual thing, because for me, you can get great photographs out of that as well. But also, I hate to see just that on the back wall. You know, it's just like, no. It's all the exact same. Then you have the red thing, and this every gig then that you take photograph looks the same. It could be, you know what I mean?
Well, that was the great thing about Paranoid Beast, is that the gigs that you did, and the bands had no input in it, and that's not a bad thing, but you come in and the place would be set up and it would look fucking great. It wasn't just that behind you in Fred's. It was broadcast of something else. You were doing in Relation as well. I remember that the first time.
I was trying it out on the smaller thing, first, but then when it, like Fred, like, I have to give thanks to Tom Keaton as well. Like. I mean, that man is, like, he's unsung hero here. Like.
He's been on the scene for what, 26 years or something. At Fred's here. That's not an easy fucking task.
The support he gave us all the way through this was just fantastic. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't say enough about the guy. He never said no. Do you know what I mean? There was no no. And like, he'd take the room. You know, he'd pay for the sound man. He loves the Irish thing that we were doing. Do you know, our whole thing when we started. Well, for me, it was the Irish bands. That's why I wanted to do the monthly nights. Because I wanted to promote the Irish bands. But like, I know metalheads in Cork for 30 years, and I can tell you, like, if there was 2 or 3 of those big metalheads in Cork came into a Paranoid pit, You know, in the 2 or 3 years that we were doing it, it was a lot. You know what I mean? Good friends of mine, like people mental, I know for years, like, mental, and they're big metal heads, like, you know, for Irish metal. What's that? You know, we know what it is because we've been involved in it for
trying to
a good few and trying to push it. You know?
I still don't know what it is. I'll be honest.
and like, figure it out. For me, it's an unbelievable scene. Fantastic bands all over the country.
It's the best it's ever been in terms of quality bands, for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, we were only
talking
about this
all the time as well.
All the time. We were only talking about this at jamming not that long ago, and talking about, because we do talk about the scene quite a bit, you know, in our own fucking weird way. But
that's good to hear.
We were kind of putting ourselves into the shoes of bands coming through, and I remember like that now being 16, 17 and starting bands, and we had fucking very few bands to look up to. Very fucking few. You had the lads in Flatline maybe who were 21, 22 at the time, but God bless them, they weren't the best. They tried fucking hard, but they weren't the best. They weren't someone you wanted to be, like, you know. And you had like 10 Point Rule, who were a great hardcore band back in the early 90s or the mid 90s. They were more kind of like, you get ideas from them, but at the same time they weren't someone to really look up to and kind of go,
no, the quality is like,
no, you have like so many bands to look up to for kids coming through, and the quality of the performances, the quality of the gear that they're using, the musicianship.
Exactly.
They can fucking play.
But you see, that's what
before 1996, a fella go up and he'd never seen a guitar, like, just to play a fucking gig, and it was awful.
And sure, now of course you have the whole YouTube thing as well, where you can learn whatever you want, whenever you want. You know what
access to really good gear. You're
but like the way I would envisage something like this, like for those younger bands, like, they should be getting out and seeing these older bands, the likes of the Magna Pinna and Partholón and...
Fuck, we're an older band, Richie.
You're an older band.
You're not a legacy band yet.
No, we're fucking old.
But see, the performance, do you know what I mean? Like,
I keep going on about that.
This guy here, like, he'd come and perform in your front room.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He loves to perform.
Yeah, I do.
And this is, you know, like, and gives his all. Like, I mean, Jesus, the last night his voice was nearly gone, and he roared the lungs out of himself, like, do you know what I mean? And it was fantastic. These young kids need to see these performances and go, we need to up our game. Do you know this kind of, this is what we have. Both ways.
It's like the same time we were talking about God alone, and we were going like, well, fuck you, like, you're, do you know, you want to just be better than that. And it's a really fucking energetic thing to see, and kind of enthusiasm, and it makes you have to fucking work harder, and you would hope that would go both ways.
Exactly, and you would hope that they would come out and support those gigs as well, like, but they didn't, like, do you know, and they don't, do you know? Because like, when you're young, it's all about yourself too, you know what I mean? You're thinking of your own friends and your own thing, and you know,
you're the centre of the universe.
We're looking back at what mistakes we might have made. You know,
as everyone knows, rainbows usually have a treasure at the end. Let's follow this one and see if we can find the pot of gold.
Father, I suppose you've come to claim me treasure.
Well, we'd like to see the gold first.
Faith in there's better than gold in here, me lad. No, just look here now.
Candy, refreshing soft drinks, popcorn, ice cream. Well, that's some treasure, but anyone can buy luscious treats like these at the snack bar.
You don't tell me. Do you suppose you could get me a job as a snack bar attendant?
I'm actually looking forward to seeing Hashmaker next weekend.
I've never seen it. I've only seen a few clips.
It's just seen the clips, but they look fun, do you know? And I think putting them together with Eve,
we're looking forward to it.
It's going to be a laugh, like.
It will be.
Like the boys were saying they'll get out the old lobster costume.
Oh, sure. We've a squid thing as well, like. We've got this. We've a thing going on online with them, you know. We're back and forth on messages going like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And Lugosi as well, they're fucking class.
Yeah. Well, nice you put me onto them, like, I don't know much about them now, so I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Horror pop metal.
Brilliant. Really good.
Yeah, it's suited as well.
That's the 28th of May.
They're playing first anyway. Because one of them has to go back to Dublin afterwards or something.
But you were in Desert Fest as well, Mark, over in London.
This year, yeah.
You ran into maybe a few of the lads from the Elder Druid, and
I met Elder Druid over there. Yeah. We met them, and the lads are slung from a tree. We were only talking to them for 5 minutes along the way, but we'd see them every now and then. Like,
and what was your impressions of Desert Fest?
there was a dodgy first night for us.
Okay.
Yeah, the sound was terrible inside in the Electric Ballroom venue.
Right. Okay.
Which is like very unusual for Desert Fest, like you know. And like a lot of the bands that played in there that night, you would have thought, you know, these are legends. Bands.
Legends of Tone as well, just having that great sound.
But we thought it was just us then, you know. But the next day on Facebook, we saw all over the place people were complaining about it. You know, they got it sorted for the second day.
Right.
Second day then, of course, we were wrecked tired. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And standing up all day. So the third day saved it for us, really. We went to the Roundhouse. We seen Yob. Wow.
I saw them in 2019 and they were fucking unbelievable.
Man. Unbelievable. And then like Electric Wizard finished it. One of my favourite bands, like outstanding, like, you know. But that June band, the crowd from Edinburgh.
From Edinburgh,
outstanding. Never heard of them before, like, do you know? I bought the 2 albums, or they've 3 now, but I bought the first 2 albums. Outstanding band.
Yeah, but like, great again, was there, like, okay, you said there was issues with sound. Also, like, Green Lung.
Oh, nightmare. I mean, absolute nightmare. Yeah.
Why were they
put them in the smallest venue in the in the
I don't
place,
think
like, you know?
they realised how quick after. I think it was Bloodstock.
Yeah.
And then they played maybe Damnation Festival, and then that the horse had bolted. It was literally.
Oh, that was the biggest mistake of the weekend. Like, do you know, I was so wrecked tired from the night before that I ended up missing Stoner, going down and going to sleep. For an hour and a half. I told the boys, wake me up, we'll head up to Green Lung. So they did anyway. They came down, they said there's a queue, man, there's a queue out that door. The doors are closed. There was about 200 people outside waiting to get in. They should be on the Roundhouse.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Or even in the Electric Ballroom, even though I just don't like that venue. I just don't like it, you know. The Roundhouse is an amazing venue. And Green Lung are, you know, they're getting huge, you know, like, you know, and you could see that'd be the last time that anyone would see him on a small stage, I'd say, and a lot of the people that got in there were delighted with that, like, you know, because
they were down on your man Clang's festival as well. Green
Lung.
So
what's the update on Clang? Is that happening?
It's apparently happening the same weekend as the Siege.
Oh,
so,
yes.
So good luck with that
when
one.
is that?
October.
That doesn't bode well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No.
They never spotted that, no?
I think they did.
I
just don't think they
that's a bit of a mix up there.
Yeah.
That's a mistake.
Oh God.
So, like, I mean, when you compare Desert Fest to something like the Siege, where you look at the Siege and it's so well done, and you wouldn't have a problem, I would imagine, of a band like Green Lung playing the Casbah, when not just saying this is Green Lung, like, but just a band that's on the way up. I think they'd be recognised a lot faster and be being put on the main stage.
This is my 3rd Desert Fest now, and I've never seen this kind of mix up before. Like,
okay,
you know, like, there's so many bands at Desert Fest, and you have about five venues, different venues. You have small little ones upstairs and pubs and stuff like that. Then they start getting bigger and bigger, and up to the Roundhouse, which is like the best.
I suppose the temptation is just literally to stay in the Roundhouse a lot of the time if you're
I think that's what's happening now with a lot of people that and do you know what, we probably should have done that on the second night went up, because there was a lot of bands that we missed out on that we wouldn't really have known, but we heard they did amazing.
And that's part of the crack of things like that, is finding bands by mistake, you know.
Like, compared to Roadburn there, like,
Jesus, man.
Now you're talking a different level.
It's a different level altogether,
you know, of discovering bands.
This is it. You walk into venue, you see, like, I discovered The Body. I was so late to that fucking party, but found them in Roadburn. Walked in, saw them playing. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking unbelievable.
And the shows in Roadburn as well, like, you know, putting on huge, all different kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that we like to do on a smaller scale as well, was let a band breathe, like, do you know what I mean? Let's play a whole album from start to finish. Let's
unique sets and things like that.
You know what I mean? Unique sets, like, do you know, and allow the band do something that's different. I hate this kind of, you play for half an hour, 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 with no talk going into it, you know.
The clock
3 or 4 songs,
the
not giving the bands time, especially with the older bands like yourselves, that have plenty of, like, I think you probably played the longest gig, the Magnum Pinna.
For yourselves,
Fred's.
I'd say
sure
it
that
was
nearly fucking 2 hours or something.
It was an hour and 45 minutes.
An hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, it was amazing, man. It was brilliant.
We were doing 2.5 hour sets up to running up just to the pandemic. We were doing a.
Fucking hell, I think I remember.
I think we did 3 hour set one time down in Bantry. We threw in a few covers as well on top of it.
And great crack, you know.
Fucking
what I mean?
love every
But
minute of
then
it.
we're from a generation who like to see,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of set rather than there's kind of this kind of YouTube thing now where you're only like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
But you want to settle into the fucking thing.
You wanna
Yob are like
settle
that. I
into
remember watching Yob and think I could do another fucking hour of this, like, you know?
Wow.
No.
Blew me away.
We'll just talk about the footage that the Paranoid Beast has. Have you got recordings that never saw the light of day? Have you got video recordings? Have you got audio recordings?
We've plenty of audio recordings, alright.
Okay.
Tomas.
Shout out to Tomas Coroza, yeah.
Yeah, Tomas was brilliant there. Like he probably spent, he was definitely doing it for a year, I'd say, of doing all the Paranoid Pit gigs.
Wow.
So,
I know we have the Partholón ones. We got them off Tomas himself.
yeah, he has a load of them. He's got Partholón ones. I think he's some Coroza ones. Yeah, they're all sitting in a vault.
In a vault, yeah.
that he's getting through slowly. I was only talking to him there last week about it, like, you know, and we said we're going to have to get through him at some stage. And,
well, you have the time now, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, he's doing all the mixing and stuff, like, you know, he's doing all that kind of side.
That's
of it.
a big undertaking
We
as well.
have, there's loads of kind of clips and stuff, like the lads know we've some year earlier ones, few 10 ton slug earlier ones, just a few things here and there, and old SD cards and stuff like that.
Space big as well. Adrian, the Scottish lad, he did loads of video. So I'm sure he's got the lion's share of footage from back in the early gigs.
Yeah,
he definitely would. Yeah,
he's got a pile of them on his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Adrian. Shout out to Adrian as well. Adrian was brilliant. You know,
fantastic.
He was with us for a long time as well. You know, and like doing all gigs. This guy's been doing those for some. He did a brilliant one of them. The one in January before the lockdown.
The last one before the lockdown, yeah.
Now that gig
I remember
was
that.
Just
Was that?
You were at that,
with
yeah.
Jim,
Yes, with
Shout
Jim.
out to Jim. Yeah.
that was a great.
That was one of the best gigs
That
I've
was
ever
definitely,
seen.
yeah,
that.
absolutely. I and he caught it, and it's on YouTube, like, you know.
Yeah.
And definitely. And you see, we had a good crowd that night.
We did. It was a
That's
great
what
night.
we were looking at. We were looking at, right, that's January.
Yeah.
That's the start of the 2020.
And I remember being worried about it because it was January. We were thinking, fuck, who's going to go out in January? Like,
Yeah.
but at the end of the fucking day,
it was
what
brilliant. It was, I think that's the way it was going to go.
It felt like it at the time.
Do you know, the next one would have been whatever, and like like I'd always have 6 months ahead, you know. So
like it would, like, maybe over, I don't know how many years. When did you start? Was it 2000 and was it the 10?
17 or 18?
17 or 18.
17, I'd say. Was that?
The posters there somewhere.
There's no years on them though.
Okay.
Fuck, I was in my 30s back then. Fuck.
I'd say it could have been 2017. Like, what happened was, my first one, I was doing the 10 ton slug one in the Correlation.
Was that the first one?
With G.
That's
with
right, yeah.
Partholón.
the first one.
That was the first one I did. But Con was after doing
Con did 2 or 3 before
2 or
that.
3 before
Yeah.
that. Where did he do them again?
He did some in the Poor Relation.
Did he?
And he did one in the Poor Relation for sure.
Yeah.
But whereas the other ones
Did he have one of Fred's? Did he have one of
probably
Fred's?
Fred's. It would have to be.
Ones, was it? Or what do you
Not necessarily Suts there, no. It was.
He had 10 ton slug as well, didn't he?
I think he did. Yeah.
And
Maybe the Spailpín as well.
Okay.
it was Howard really put us together, really, because it's just saying we were basically both doing the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you
pretty
know,
much,
and looking at the same bands, and do you know, and it was a good thing. It was a good thing to come together, definitely. Like, do you know,
It was a good time.
yeah.
Because
It was a great time.
it just, I don't know, it just felt all the bands were kind of coming together at the same time. The promoters were after getting together to do something.
That's when I decided to do the podcast.
That's when you decided to do the podcast, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And there was people showing up to the gigs on a regular
to push
basis.
it, push it even more.
Yeah.
And like all of our thing was Irish metal.
Yeah.
Do you know
It
what I
was
mean?
100%.
Like, I wanted to see Irish metal to the fore. Like, I hate this thing that because you're from England or from your America that you're a better band. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not true.
It's not true.
Do you know what I mean? Just because a magazine tells you, this is what you should listen to now. You have to go out and discover these things for yourself, you know what I mean? And we've done that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And but you know how hard it is to push this.
Oh, for fuck's sake, it's
to push these bands, like it's crazy, like.
It's 24/7, like it really is.
Do you know?
Whether you're thinking about it or doing something about it, Jesus Christ, it's 24/7, like you know, sleepless fucking nights.
And then of course, like the promoting side of it, and having to do poster designs and
just even messages to people,
and messages, and then trying to do the online thing with Facebook, and do you know, where like you can see like that there's like this went out to 2,000 people and you get like 10 likes, do you know, and these are the people that are supposed to be following this thing, and you're kind of going, nah, come on, no. Do you know what I mean? Like if I saw a post of yours or a post, like I'd look at it and I'd like it. Do you know? So you know that. I'm looking at yourself. Like, do you know what I mean?
But most
people actually kind of go, nah. I won't let them know. No, I'm looking at their thing. Do you know what I mean? It's a Cork thing. I'm telling you, it's a Cork thing. More than anywhere else. Jesus, he thinks he's great. Do you know what I mean? He got a big head there, no, forget about that. We won't bother liking that. That's what I see, do you know?
Yeah.
And
the Rebel County, you know, the fucking Rebel we had, we shot him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a true thing.
But I mean, even going back to the design of the posters and everything, like, I mean, it was the proper package. Like, like, how fast did you realise that you had to do that?
What do you mean?
Literally, you had to design a proper post, a post on Facebook. You had to get the poster right. You know, you had to do all this.
Well, listen, like, this is all something that I love to do anyway.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, straight away, like anything to do with an artistic thing, like the photography, like design, poster. I can do these in my sleep, like, do you know what I mean? I enjoy doing them.
Yeah, like, but it was a massive one that at the start when you saw these really good posters coming out.
Like we'll say that was the Paranoid ones I gave you there now, like the first couple, like they're on proper paper. I got them printed, like you know, expensive paper, and like sticking them around the place. I want people to collect this kind of stuff. Yeah. Do you know, like what you're doing there, and I'll put them up on the wall. You know, that's what I would do.
But from our perspective, like when that was happening, when we were first starting to do gigs, which the first one was in the Poor Relation 2018. I think it might have been May or something like that. But I would often, if we were playing a gig, see the poster and go, no, fucking, I can't deal with that. So I'd do my own poster. Do you know?
Yeah, because you're into it as well.
But I remember when you were doing it, you were like, give me the logos there, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. They're fucking layering out things you can do a poster like. But when they came back, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking great. And then the consistency across the way, and you can see it on the walls around there. I mean, it looks like a collection.
I kind of like that kind of, you know, that horror thing at the start,
science fiction,
science fiction kind of thing, like monsters and all that.
But I mean, it worked perfectly, and it just
Paranoid
added
Beast,
it added to the whole buzz of going to the gig, I think, as well, because you'd be talking about the poster, and the bands would be sharing the poster. And
well, you'd have people go to the gig, would come to you and say, "Can I take the poster off the window in France?" Which is fucking awesome.
That's what you want, like. Do you know what I mean?
So like you started off great with that, and you know, and I think that was. But it was people bought into it then because they saw it was professional.
Like, at the same time, the Poor Relation, we didn't get huge support in the Poor Relation either.
Initially,
do you know what I mean? Like I think the best one I had in the Poor Relation was the Ritual, the first Ritual. Which was great day again of music. Like that was the best one I had. It wasn't until we got to Fred's where it all just fit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I was trying to do the visual thing and the small screen.
It didn't work.
But Fred's
had the wall for it, like the distance between
the distance. It had the distance from the projector to the thing. It all worked perfectly. It was like made for it. You know what I mean? So look, Fred's was brilliant. Like I love Fred's. And do you know what really annoys me? Like there's certain bands out there, you know who you are now.
Go on. You've retired from it now.
Like they don't want to play in Fred's anymore. Do you know, this kind of crack. Like they don't like to play in Fred's. They think they're beyond Fred's. Do you know, it's so annoying to me. Like, you know, as I said about him a while ago, like this guy would play in your front room because he's got a passion to play music. Yeah. Do you know what I mean, lads? Cop it on, like. Do you know, Fred's is a fucking one of the best venues around the place. Like, do you know what I mean? And we're delighted that it's in Cork, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know, get over yourselves, like.
Just trying to think of a Cork without Fred's. I mean, how fucked would that be, you know?
Absolutely.
There'd be nowhere to play. No. You'd be fighting for places in Cyprus Avenue for good enough, and fucking what other venue is going to offer a room for 80 people to watch metal?
I see. There's lots of there's lots of good venues out there. Like it's just persuading them to do this, and when you don't get the support, like that's what happened with the Poor Relation. Like I couldn't justify them to keep me on there doing those gigs when we weren't getting support. Do you know what I mean? So, like that's the other side of it. Like Tom. Sorry. No idea. She's stuck somewhere now. But
she's not ringing me too, is she?
that was the problem, or that was the good thing about Tom. Do you know what I mean? Tom would give you all the support in the world, and he wasn't even that bothered of how many people were there. Yeah. He was promoting the music. Yeah, like, and he's been involved in the Irish music scene for years. Big promoter himself. Do you know what I mean? And he loved what we were doing for the Irish scene, like, do you know? Yeah. Other venues inside in Cork, they don't look at metal and go,
no, you're one bad night away from fucking losing it. You might have 2 or 3 good nights and they might love you to bits, but one bad night gone.
Like we always had the Crushkeen for that as well. It was the same kind of mentality.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
You know, but Jim. Yeah. Shout out to Jim Tobin as well.
And Tom had it as well, like. Yeah. Do you know?
For a bit,
Yeah. Nebula actually played there. I seen them back in 2005, I think, inside in the Crushkeen.
Again, another small venue, but like the bands,
cool.
the bands that passed through it were fucking insane, like
unbelievable. You look back in it, and Jesus, I was at a lot of those gigs, and it was the same problem. You had fucking 30 people in there for
like
big fucking bands.
I remember Donny Goggin going to one band from Japan. I can't remember what the fuck were their name? Sai, is it?
Sai, yes, yeah.
And there was like
black metal.
There was like 3 people there.
Wow.
And then the support band as well, or something like that. It mightn't necessarily be Sai now, but it was a Oriental band.
We actually had one gig like that. Yeah. Where there's no one there. Like. Yeah. There was like 3 people and the band, like 3 bands.
What was that?
That was in the Poor Relation.
Fucking remember?
I can't remember who it was, but like one of the bands came down from Dublin. And it was the last one actually. I think was the last one we did in there.
It wasn't a Brigantia gig, was it?
No. They always did very well. I love Brigantia. Like.
Oh fuck it, they're the boys.
So they're our own age.
Yeah. Like we put Brigantia on a few times down there now, and every time.
I put on their first fucking Cork gig in 2007, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I put up a post. We were looking for a band for Fred's, and I put up a post on fucking MySpace, saying any bands available to play tomorrow night, and they got a thing back from Brigantia. Didn't know any of them about them or who they were or whatnot. Yeah. And it's like a grand 3-piece fucking grand, and you go play like. And I never forget it. They played the first song, and they played this kind of fast upbeat thing, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I think this is the shittest thing I've ever fucking seen. What am I after fucking doing? And the second song they played was Time Machine of Doom.
Oh,
and I was just like, this is the best fucking thing I have ever fucking seen.
Like, I love that old classic Doom song.
Classic Doom,
they really have it, like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I think they're Ireland's best Doom band, even though they don't have a lot out.
Yeah,
they've just got
put it mildly. They fucking put it mildly.
They're lazy bastards. That's what's wrong with them. Like
they're doing something.
Well, Mick now is spurring them on.
Mick's a great addition.
Well, absolutely. Mick's a legend, man. Jesus,
He's over in England now, rehearsing with Death Collector.
Yeah, that thing took off, like, didn't it?
Yeah, it's fucking class.
Yeah,
of course,
it's class.
Quality,
it's
like,
great,
it's old school.
Yeah, definitely.
Mick knows his death metal, boy.
Oh, does he? What? Jesus.
Yeah. But like over the years, Mark, give me your favourite 3 gigs.
Oh, that's a tough one. Pretend I'm not here, though.
No, we will like limit it to Irish bands, obviously. Like.
Best Irish bands.
Maybe ones that you put on yourself first.
I think I loved the gig Venus Sleeps played in the first Ritual. They were the headline act on the night. I thought they were amazing that night. I love Censor. I thought the second Ritual that they played in was fantastic. Let me think now. What would be my favourite? Well, every gig they played. Every gig they played.
Well, that was definitely my favourite gig of that you put on that time in January.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was just something special going on there.
There was something. Yes.
Yeah, in fairness, there was something in there that night.
There was
something in
there. It was fucking magical,
it was a perfect Partholón and
it was magical
gig that night.
It's probably our favourite Cork gig of all time as well.
It had to be. Yeah.
And it's great that it was recorded.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Look back in it.
Did you record some stuff before? You were telling me before you were doing little clips and stuff of your shows. Were you doing that before? Was it
From Partholón?
Yeah, like with the little GoPros and stuff.
No, it was Magnapina.
Oh, was the Magnapina one? Was it? Yeah.
We've a fucking terabyte of footage.
But like
you'll be fucking found out in that someday as well, by the way.
Like
we will be found out in it.
All of Howard's gigs that we've put on have been amazing.
Yeah.
And seriously, like with the Magnapina, and he's a legend, like there's no doubt about it, like, you know. And
you're alright. You're amongst friends.
It's true though, do you know what I mean? These are full on shows, like I actually remember saying about the Magnapina, like if I like they were a band that I thought you could build a scene around. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're a band that like you're getting all different elements coming in, like punk, fucking even stoner riffs, and you know, and a bit of wackiness and the madness, like kind of reminded me like a Dead Kennedys type of Carry On. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I thought, that's a band you could build a scene around that band, like. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you could.
Thank
Still could.
Thank fuck we didn't try, because you'd be fucking retired a lot earlier.
Yeah.
But thank you, we appreciate that.
Yeah, loads of brilliant bands.
The Slug.
Absolutely, yeah, Jesus.
The Slug always bring it.
Yeah,
they're never
the first one I
disappointed.
put on with them was fantastic.
In Ritual, in
Partholón. Yeah. And the one in
Rich. Remember Ronan getting sick?
He got sick and everything. Yeah. There was a lot. And then there was that fella that was wrecking his head. You remember that?
Prick.
Jesus. I ran your man down the fucking stairs, right?
Yourself and Tony Sutton. I said, I came up there because lads, will you for fuck's sake get rid of him?
So I ran him down the stairs anyway at one stage, right? And next minute I came back up the stairs. This guy, that was an old guy, like he's like as old as us there, not quite, but nearly there, like
old enough to know better, like.
So I came back up the stairs anyway, and next minute I turned around, nearly lost my mind. He was out to follow me back up. I'm going, I can't.
Like a fucking pet dog.
And Tony was going to, buddy, I'm warning, you know. He'll take the head off you there now in 2 seconds. Don't push him, because he'll take the head off you. That was brilliant. You know. God, well, Round Kingdom, yeah. Like Round Kingdom came down and played with Rest of Nation and Third Island.
Third Island, from Limerick.
Yeah, and we recorded that gig actually.
Okay.
And I remember saying to Tomas afterwards, you won't have to do much with that gig. That was perfection. Like.
Yeah.
And it came out. They actually released it. They put it out in Bandcamp.
Who did
Round Kingdom?
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's on Bandcamp at the moment. But that gig as well, there was like about maximum 25, 30
They've been
people.
really unlucky with gigs they played down there. They really have
and
been.
they were unbelievable. It was perfection that night, like, you know. they're gone a bit different now. I think they're
a little bit.
Yeah, they're gone a bit.
All the stuff they've been through and to be where they're at is just fucking phenomenal.
And they're great lads as well. We get on so well with them. Like that's probably been the best thing about it, is meeting all these lads from around the country. You know.
Yeah.
I was delighted to see him in Monolith though. I was fucking just had him on the big stage with the crowd, and I was fucking he deserved this more than most.
In fairness, great band, and you know, they always came down not a bother. Like, they were one of the first bands actually I asked when I heard them.
Yeah.
Because I always thought they were very good with G. Like
very good. We love playing with fucking Round Kingdom. Just the nicest lads.
Suits.
And there's never any hassle with them. Never fucking any hassle. You know,
fucking top class, like, you know. Jesus, who else? Oh, do you know, it was a great gig actually when I was thinking about it. Elder Druid and Coroza. When it was the Chalice Burner.
Yes, the launch, wasn't it?
Yeah, the fucking boys were fucking on fire that night. That was a great
was
gig.
Fantastic gig.
Yeah, I was hoping that there could have been a saxophone solo, but unfortunately there wasn't. But
Kieran Cullihan, wasn't it, from Limerick?
That album actually, I thought they did amazing on that album.
The new album is supposed to be even better again.
I can't wait to hear it.
I was talking to Dolly recently and he's pretty excited about it.
Yeah,
hopefully we'll get some vinyl out of this one. I'd like to hear him on vinyl. Like that Chalice Burner one deserves to be on vinyl, but it's too long. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd want 2 albums, I suppose, 2 double albums.
Shorten your fucking riffs.
So we'll go back then as well to he produced 7 volumes of the Paranoid Beast.
The mix series kind of thing.
What are your feelings now on looking back on that?
Yeah, it was great. It was something again that I like to do, because like the DJing aspect of it again. I put them all together so that they would sound a certain way, like, you know, or try to make them sound.
They're a fucking great reference point if someone's on to you about what, you know, the Irish scene, what should you fucking listen to. You just send them that direction. Look, there's 7 volumes here of what's going on. Go listen to that and I mean, get a grasp of it.
We could probably easily do another 7 volumes with the amount of new bands, and you know, they were the bands at the time. You know, I know there's so many more. Some of them are really, really good actually. When you listen back to them, like, you know, they're excellent. Like, you know, a lot of great band, like Wee Priest. You know what I mean? Like that's a band now that we missed out on putting on. They're probably the band that I would have loved to have put on. Like I was trying to get
the drummer was at the gig last weekend for Wee Priest. The original drummer. They played Cork about maybe 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
And
I was at that actually. That was up in Fred's.
Upstairs in Fred's, and they were fucking phenomenal. I love that band.
Great band.
Fucking great band.
I actually bought everything that they ever made.
Or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because Michal then took over on drums, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's like a crossover with the Slug.
There was. And Sean was with him as well, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
They were a fucking great band.
Great band. Did you see a man went home? Like, did he?
He did. I think I don't know, is he Russian or Lithuanian or Ukrainian?
But like that was in the pipeline actually, to bring them over and to do one of the rituals. We were going to fly him over, and Sean was up for doing it as well.
Yeah.
So they would have been another band. The other one we missed out on, like how many times it was cancelled, I don't know, like Slowmatics. Like. I tried to get that gig on so many times, like, and everything was just going against us, you know.
Yeah.
And
that would have been fucking great. That hooked vinyl is fucking great.
But like when you look back on when you started out doing gigs and stuff like that, I think no scene developed faster than the Northern Ireland scene.
Absolutely.
When literally from 2018 onwards, just the quality of releases and the bands that mushroomed.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
And like you were up at a few gigs up there, and like
fantastic scene, fantastic camaraderie,
great support.
Absolutely. See, they have the voodoo up there. That's the key for them. Like,
they have a place to put stuff on.
Makes
a big difference.
It's a massive difference.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 or 3 alternatives to that, you know. But
like that's what we were pushing for. Like that's what we wanted to do. You know, we wanted to build a scene. Like people go on about the Cork scene. There's not really a scene. It's a separate thing. Like, do you know what I mean?
But it's the
It's
bands
a separate scene. Like,
yeah.
do you know? It looks good on paper. And the bands are great, like you know what I mean. There's no doubt about that. There's great Cork bands, loads of them, like. But it's not a scene, like.
It's history repeating itself over and over again in Cork, and that's the sad thing.
And we've lived through a lot of that, like.
You were kind of hoping with Paranoid Beast it would break the mold the same way that Bad Rep did it in Limerick.
Yeah,
when they came on the scene, it was a case of, right, let's see how these guys do,
Yeah.
and what they did and what they're doing now is just incredible.
Yeah,
do you know what? Now when you talk about
they're
Ireland,
the best
you talk
in the country, like.
Dublin, Limerick. Do you know bands go Dublin and Limerick? They're in the same conversation, and that's fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
like,
amazing. You know? I mean, like, and
fucking amazing.
But look at Limerick in all their scenes. They have a big hip hop scene down there. They have a big techno scene down there.
Yeah.
Like
it's supported.
Proper.
It seems to be really well supported.
Everything
place.
up here is very small and.
But
like,
if we went to the Arts Council and asked for help, they tell us to fuck off.
Yeah.
Do you know, the lads in Limerick, do you know, or the Arts Council in Limerick are very, very generous to the arts, and it seems to be shining through. And I know the likes of Blind Boy now and so on has kind of pushed that along. We don't have something similar here maybe, but and the venues, Dolan's taking on the Siege was a huge thing.
Absolutely. What a great venue. Like.
Fantastic venue.
That's
you know,
that's the key there.
And we're very lucky to have the fucking Siege for as long as we have it.
That's the problem with Cork as well. We don't have a venue like Dolan's, like where you have to, like we did with Sir Henry's.
Yeah,
that was it.
You know,
literally
different rooms and things.
And like
that was it. The village.
They still have never ever done anything on that site. They just went away and knocked down the best venue Cork City ever had.
Put up a fucking car park.
They had real scenes. Like I mean, the rave scene in there was just second to none.
Techno and rave on fucking Wednesday and Thursday nights in there.
Yeah. And then you had the village, like the bands we seen in the village, like Neurosis and Pitch Shifter and all these kind of bands.
So Skin Lab in there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
sure. All sorts of bands, and that was every Saturday night, like.
Yeah.
These
were
American bands. Every Mercury, Rev, you name it, they brought in there.
Everyone.
Jawbreaker, like Jesus Christ.
That was an actual sin. To actually knock down something like that.
Whatever fucking happened.
Whoever made that decision.
I think it was just because the drugs had gone out of control and the cops are there the whole time.
But sure, I mean, at the end of the day,
just going to move that problem somewhere else in the city, really, isn't it?
You have to sort that. That's your problem. You sort it.
That's literally what happened, though. You know?
Yeah.
That's fucked, you know.
And they'll have to go to shit then as well, because you think about
it was all second-rate dance nights and stuff, rather than having like Carl Cox and Laurent Garnier and all these guys in there.
Who did play there?
And Sasha and Digweed, which all played in there. Like, do you know what I mean? Josh Wink and
but I mean, as I said, it just got fucking ridiculous, and the scene just died. It was just overwhelmed by fucking dance and
another scene gone then again, like, you know. Yeah, and like the alternative scene, go back to the Suttons of Ping, Frank and Walters, Emperors of Ice Cream. You know, another really big Cork music scene. Do you know what I mean?
Growing behind it, your man.
And they were all played in there all the time.
Actually died tonight. Actually.
Kyle Collin, I seen that. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that on fucking Facebook. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. So. And look, I think there's hope anyway for the younger generation. As I said, I like what the younger generation are doing right now.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I think they will too. I think their young fellas will get behind it, because they're starved of this. They haven't had this. Like a lot of them haven't even been out to pubs and clubs because of the last 2 years. They're only turning of age. Like my son is one of those. Like you know, he's 19 now, 20. He wasn't able to go to this stuff. So all these guys will want to go out and support. I hope the lives. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And for us, we can actually just sit back and retire,
enjoy it,
and go out and watch the gigs. You know what I mean? And like, I'll probably bring the camera along to a few gigs and maybe start taking photographs of the young fellas doing their thing. You know what I mean? That might be a bit more interesting.
We've done a photo shoot with Mark for the Magnapini. It was fantastic. Like, do you know?
Well, no, I'd have to say there now. That wasn't fantastic. I had a dodgy camera that day.
It was fucking one of the funniest. It was in the middle of the pandemic. It was our first day out in like.
I could do a much better one for you, know. And I actually owe you one. Actually, I owe you one.
But yeah, going back to your contributions, right? So you did 7 volumes of the Paranoid Beast, and also you helped Howard's band Partholón with vinyl.
Yes.
And delighted to be a part of that. Like,
was that the only band?
No, we did the Coroza one as well, Chalice Burner.
The CD.
We put that out on CD. The first one.
Okay.
Like that was another thing as well. It was like, I don't know, it was kind of difficult to get that thing going. Like that's what we wanted to do as well, was put out, you know, bands that we loved on both CD and vinyl. I suppose, we never really got it going though, you know what I mean? We didn't get a chance.
Exactly.
We didn't really get a chance to get it going, you know? We would have loved to kind of see the Paranoid Beast Records thing take off, like do a Curse Monk Records, you know, the type of thing that Raj is doing, like, you know, and put out all the Irish bands, you know.
Why is that not feasible now, that you still could, like?
Oh, it's money and selling the fucking thing.
Like
vinyl is expensive, do you know?
Yeah, like we're all vinyl collectors and stuff, so we're big into that. Like, but the young people, I don't think are. Like, although I see it changing a bit, all right, like
small bit,
you know. But money, I suppose, really.
This is it.
They're expensive.
Like, we wouldn't have been able to get the vinyl done if it wasn't for Paranoid Beast.
And you raised that funds through the volumes, the sales of the volumes, and
yeah. We got some money out of that. It wasn't a whole lot, like, do you know what I mean? But
really, no,
that was money that we put together ourselves, like, you know, from our own pockets, like, you know, and making money out of the gigs as well. Because, like, when you think about, like, I didn't really lose a whole lot of money out of any of the gigs that we did, you know.
Right.
Never made a whole lot either.
It's poor dependency.
But
like.
didn't lose, you know. Didn't ever lose a whole lot. I think the most I lost was on the second Ritual,
right?
What you were on about earlier. It's about 500 quid, like. You know? Bit disappointing, but like, and all that money that we were going to use anyway, we were going to put into these projects, like, you know. I suppose we never really. Probably didn't do even merch that we put together, like for the Rituals and stuff like that.
That's right. They were cool.
I still have a box of those, like.
Yeah.
People weren't even buying T-shirts. Like, they were going, "Hey, I know what's going on here."
And that was
and they're lovely T-shirts.
And that was a Colin Bulger design, wasn't it?
Yeah, great design. Yeah, excellent design. Did a great poster of that. Actually, he's still doing some very nice designs, isn't he?
He's doing little stores as well. He's going to these fairs and things.
It's great to see.
We just picked up his Phil Lynott one and the Sinead O'Connor one, actually.
I saw that, at the Cork Metal Market.
I sent Maeve in, like, she went and picked it up. That actually, that would be a great T-shirt, the Phil Lynott one. Like, there's no Phil Lynott T-shirts, like, it's very hard to get a Tin Lizzy T-shirt, like.
It is, actually.
I think
you're right.
sell those. That looks sweet on a T-shirt, like, you know?
Yeah, and kind of then for the future, you're just going to be a punter now, really, are you?
Be a punter, probably. Most likely start doing some photography, I'd say.
Okay.
More photography, probably. Well, definitely try and give the time. I wanted to do a project on the scene itself, but not just the bands.
Okay, a documentary.
Well, the people that go, like photographs, like.
Oh, right, okay.
But of the people that go to the gigs, the sitting down having the pints, outside Fred Zeppelins,
smoking room, things like that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of in my head. If I get the time to do it, and I'm sure I will, like. But I'm going to be doing a lot of DJing as well, so I'm kind of picking up on that as well. Like, so,
of course, you've got that as well.
I've gone doing stuff now in the BDSM as well in town, so I can actually play rock music all night, like, if I want. Do you know what I mean? So looking forward to that. Be something different, you know.
But that's. Did you ever even think of, even since you've so much footage, video footage, and you've audio as well, and you've got your own pictures, would it not be beyond the realms the possibility that there actually could be even for a certain time period a Cork metal documentary?
Always wanted to do it.
Okay.
Always wanted to do it. Was always looking at, like, the idea was there before. Do you remember we got that guy, what was his name? He was supposed to film a few of the gigs for us. That was the idea, like.
That was at the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't Paul Flynn? No?
Yes, Paul Flynn. He did a few things at the start for us there, but I don't know what happened there. That just phased out. Like, I started doing a few recordings then with the DSLRs, and as you've seen with the problem with that, they go off after 35 minutes. So it got annoying, do you know what I mean? I actually just picked up a new video recorder, and I was going to start doing it again. Do you know, I managed to do but I have to do something with the sound there to get it right, like, do you know. It would be great to get someone like, you know, Twisted Vision, yeah, like he would be the man.
Who's that?
They did the Monolith streams.
Rob, what's the second name again? God.
They did do a lot of stuff down in Killorglin, do the K-Fest and things like that as well.
Yeah, really professional stuff. They did the
Monolith
streams in Cyprus Avenue. They've done stuff with bands like the Love Buzz now, all these these streams, you know, but real professional stuff, and he'd be the man for a documentary, I reckon, you know.
I hope someone does it. Well, I think you're the man to be the catalyst to push something like that forward, you know.
Maybe. Like I originally, the idea would have been to do a documentary on the whole Irish metal scene.
Right, okay.
Do a part on Cork, do a part on Limerick, do a part on Belfast, do a part on Dublin, you know.
Yeah.
And we have all the contacts, we have all the bands. You know, if you go in interview, you'd see all those docs, like the Doom doc and all those.
That's brilliant.
It's
in Sheffield, the one over in Sheffield. Like that's brilliant. Yeah.
Those guys basically were the same as what Paranoid Beast were like.
Yeah.
They were putting on shows in small venues and pubs and stuff like that, like, and they were put that together. So that would have been something that I was looking at, you know, doing that for the Irish scene, you know.
I'm sure there's people in Limerick and Dublin and Belfast who would have the same sort of archive that you have.
Yeah.
You know, someone has videos of things,
with
you know.
Our archive, it would be almost like bootleg quality.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's quite good as well for you know, you'd see like the early Metallica ones there.
Well,
like,
you
like
look at the early CBGB ones as well.
Yeah,
they're just like dog rough, but like
dog
people,
rough, but it
people
gives
would
you
love
the
them.
idea,
Like,
get the sense of it. Like.
Yeah. Again, I suppose the footage that we have, we could definitely put it into some software and start cutting it up. You just need to get an expert to do it, like, do you know what I mean? Someone that knows what they're doing.
There's a good few out there.
There is, and some are going to be watching this. So fuck it if anybody's out there.
I'm thinking Rob Halloran straight away, or someone like him.
Yeah, I did actually. I think I talked to him before about something.
Yeah, but no, I just like there is enough people there. But like, I mean, if you
like, originally I thought like if we could get a student, you know what I mean, someone that wants to do a project for
maybe just someone like a student to go through it, but like you'd have to put it in good hands to see it through.
Yeah. Someone who knows
I'd say
what's what.
Like if you looked at all the footage that came out from Cork, from Limerick, there must be loads of footage. There's, you know, from the Siege gigs, there must be footage of Siege gigs, and
there is,
and the gigs in Belfast and stuff. There has to be, like, you know, it's probably all just sitting on people's laptops and hard drives.
I was saying to Richie, like, we've a terabyte of video footage for the Magnapina. A fucking terabyte, like.
Really? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, do you know my opinion on that? No one will ever fucking see it.
There's crazy people out there who videoed a lot of stuff.
I don't know how it's going to go in the future. All I'd like to say is just thanks to all the bands for coming down and playing for us. And like what I do know is that all those bands enjoyed the experience. Do you know what I mean? They love coming down to Cork, like, you know, and Tom Keating, and of course Con, you know, like, I really didn't want to do it if Con didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
do you know. Even though we both did our own thing, very much so, do you know, there was still that support there all the time, the phone calls, the chats, what are we going to do. And if Con was out of it, I was going to say, look, pull the plug, like, do you know what I mean?
But like, you had a great team as well, like behind you on the night of any gig, like.
Yeah.
You'd like Tom, you'd Pavel, you'd who else?
You'd Diana on the door.
Diana on the door, exactly.
Maeve doing the door.
And the merch and the whole lot.
And Tomas doing recording. And all these people were doing it for nothing, really. Like, they were just to make it happen, So, thanks to all them as well for getting involved. And
the biggest thing is thanks to you guys, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It was just the timing of it all was so fucking.
It worked so well.
It was invigorating. It was fucking needed.
Yeah.
I remember when Con got onto me about Subtle Beast and just getting that thing moving, and then putting you guys in touch and just watching it fucking happen. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
And of course,
and looking forward to the gigs,
building the name, like, because like we were starting from nothing. And I think we did very well that way. Like within a year, everyone in Ireland knew who Paranoid Beast were.
But that was because of your quality.
Yeah, but it was also like exactly, and putting in the effort in and putting the compilations together and the lineups. I thought,
and just having the confidence, like if you were getting in touch with a band like 100-Year-Old Man now or Thursday's the Horde, just having the confidence to let them know that this is going to be a good gig.
Yeah,
you're going to be looked after, and you're going to have fun at the very fucking least.
And that's the thing. Always, you just want to look after the bands, like, do you know what I mean, and make sure they have a good night and have a laugh and talk to them. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And get to know them and become friends with them, like, do you know, and like, do you know, that was very easy for us. Like, you know,
yes, I think that's one thing that we've knocked a lot of traits about the Cork scene, but one of the best things about the Cork metal scene is the fucking personalities that are in and around that scene. And when bands come from no matter where, straight away they get the Cork humour, the Cork friendliness. It's literally you open the door to them, like, that's one thing that's not acknowledged.
Might be surprising for the Dublin bands to come down like that, and like at the end of the day, like they're some of the best lads that we've had down here, you know. Like I'd like to say that, like Stephen Anderson there as well, out of Yurt,
the artist.
Yurt, Sensor, and what's this other band? Venus Sleeps, you know what I mean? They're like three of my favourite Irish bands, like, and this guy is just all those lads are just sound as a pound, you know. And you see, they're all from our generation. We've grew up doing the same things, and we appreciate the same kinds of music, you know. And all of those bands, whenever I asked them to come to Cork, absolutely, you know, still to this day, like, do you know what I mean? So they appreciate what we did for them. We appreciate what they did for us, you know. And that's it, bringing the Irish scene together.
That's it. Just hooking up with people and different bands that otherwise you wouldn't get a chance to do it, you know.
Like, in your opinion, before Paranoid Beast started out, was there that camaraderie, that sense of like, we're all in this together? Was it just still rivalries?
I think it was the way it is now, in that it was a bit cliquey. It was a bit splintered. There was gigs happening in different places on the same night, which was just fucking madness. And it was frustrating because, you know, you book a date 6 months in advance, and you put a bit of effort into it, and a kind of a guarantee that the other bands, you're going to get paid for this and whatnot. And then 4 weeks before the band, there'll be an all-day festival somewhere out of fucking nowhere. And you're going like, we're just fucking communicate, again, you know.
There was a lot of, like that started happening with us as well, of course, with
but you steadied the ship when you came in. You just steadied all that.
That's the whole point, like,
you know. And like when the lads came in, what happened was there was this regular thing happening. There's always going to be quality, and you knew it was coming, and you knew what to expect, and it was fun to go into.
I think Pavel definitely as well, you know, with the sound and Fred, he did a fantastic job. Like, I mean, you know, it's such a small room, but to have that sound, just like the experience, the live experience inside in Fred's, for me is one of the best, because you're enveloped in the sound.
It's like a practice room.
It's like a practice.
You're getting the real essence of what's happening.
And I think, and the bands feel it because they're getting it right back at them from right there. Like in Howard's situation, he's in the middle of the crowd.
That's it. You have 3 or 4 people behind you,
which is an actual disaster to try and take a photograph, because he's always standing in the dark. Do you know what I mean? Or like a video recording, you're kind of going, where's Howard gone now? And next minute his head pops up, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, brilliant.
But I mean, as I said, it steadied the ship. It got Cork certainly back on the map for for gigs, and suddenly a whole scene came through it, and we've just nothing but fantastic memories of that.
Do you know what? For me, it's actually, it's definitely,
and friendships.
It's an honour that we can be looked at as being part of the metal scene in Cork.
Yeah,
like, because we've lived through all the metal scene. Like I was going to concerts when I was 11 years of age, like Mama's Boys and stuff like this, you know. So we've seen the progression all the way through the years, and every few years, something gets a bit low. We are now a part of that. We're a part of the history of Cork metal scene.
Yeah, it's great, man.
And you know, it will be remembered as that, and it's perfect, really.
Yeah.
And it's probably a good time to get out, because we have the young crowd coming in now, and let them have
the
their
baton has
scene.
passed the dead cult.
Exactly.
Let them run with that now.
Let them run with that, and
no
see
pressure,
how they see how they go with it, you know, and enjoy it while it's happening, you know.
Yeah. I think.
Cheers.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Look, like I said,
you did go out in a high,
and look, it feels like the right thing to do, and it feels like a good time to do it.
It does. It feels like,
and I think it leaves a legacy of really solid work.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and even during the pandemic, just the effort that you guys put in to keep things going, to have things in place for when we went back, it can't be understated how fucking hard that must have been.
It actually was. I remember I did at one stage, I posted a music documentary every single day for the first lockdown. Every single day
right,
I was finding a music documentary to post, a rock music. I was delighted I actually got to the end of it. It was like 100 and something, but I actually watched all of them, like, do you know what I mean? Look, I love music, it's part of my life, do you know what I mean? And it always will be, like, and now it's time to kind of forget about the promoting side of it and just go out and enjoy it.
And do you know what? And if you can do anything out of all this, please make a documentary out of the 2-3 years that it was great, and then
it's just like there hasn't been an era that exciting in so long.
No.
That
and you've captured it.
You captured so much of it.
Yeah, there was a lot of it done. There was a lot of it. There was a lot of it captured in photographs. Like,
do
you know, we don't have any video footage of the monoliths, or we have a few of the rituals. All right, but again, it's the quality of them. I'd be kind of worried about.
Yeah, but as I said, you just need a guy that will come in, look at it, and fit in the photographs, fit in the video footage, fit in the gigs.
It's interesting, right?
Get your talking heads in. You know what I mean?
And just have that then.
It would be nice, It would, like, and it's
especially since you have
it's
that.
something I always wanted to do.
And why it's still fresh in the memory as well, you know.
It's something I always wanted to do. That was one of the main things I wanted to do. You know?
And as I said, like, even if you want to even interview the people that were involved in the scene, I'll certainly jump in there, and
it'll be so easy to do. Like,
there'll be more people lining up that time they would go to the gig.
Yeah, but look, lads, it's been a pleasure. Like, you know,
likewise.
I'd say, like, just say same thing for Con. Like, you know,
I was just going to say about Con.
He's a superstar. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Con on a personal level, anyway.
Absolutely.
But like when he took on this thing, I remember just being fucking like, go for it, you know, the right fella to do it. Why the fuck not?
And he Con went for it, like,
considering his location as well. To be fair, it wasn't as if he was living in the city.
Like, Con gave it a really good go. I mean, like, he put his heart and soul into that monolith, like, you know, the Rotten Christ monolith, like. And it's a fantastic day, like.
It's a fucking great day.
You know,
that's another lasting legacy for him. Like, I mean, we were all at it. It was absolutely amazing.
It could have been, you know,
on the brink of greatness. It was just hovering there, you know. But I really do feel if it had continued without the pandemic, we would have hit that level.
I think so.
You think it was coming, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, because a lot of the positive thoughts went out about it. Jeez, that was a great gig down in Cork.
Yeah.
And, like, Cork is a great place to come and stay for the weekend. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have everything here. Like, it's a lovely city.
Yeah.
Do you know, great food, great places to stay, great pubs. Do you know? And great music. Do you know? Why wouldn't you want to come down there?
Why wouldn't you want to come down? So, Mark Morrissey, of Paranoid Beast Promotions. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for
having me,
the wonderful legacy yourself and Con have left behind for the Irish metal scene. And support your local metal scene. Howard, thank you as well for coming on.
Anytime, bye.
Cheers.
The awkward one.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. It says
Did we do that? I'm sure we did that as well. Who was it? Was it myself?